welcome to Two Targets Talk. No silence, no shame. And welcome to episode number 10. Number 10. And this is the $1 million question. And we have a very amazing special guest tonight. I'm actually a little jealous of her because Janice talks about her a lot. And actually, I'm here with two titans of the movement. Actually, you guys both wrote this article. It's amazing, Janice and Linda Crockett. So I'm not going to attempt to say her credentials, Janice. I'm going to let you do that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm so happy to do that. And I want to tell you too, like, this is big time for us. Like, we have captured a main expert in the field of workplace bullying. We could not be more grateful to have Linda here. So I just had to say that one more time. So yes, Linda Crockett is the founder of the Alberta Bullying Resource Center in Alberta, Canada. She is a professional social worker for the last 32 years. She's a certified trauma therapist. She provides coaching and clinical treatment for targets, bystanders, and you know who else, Robin? The perpetrator. So this is going to be a super interesting conversation. Yes, she works with bullies, so we're going to get to that a little bit later. She's also affiliated with the alumni that I belong to, the Workplace Bullying Institute. So welcome, Linda.
Thank you for having me, and what a great forum for people to start talking about the bullying they've experienced. I think we're all targets here. It's great to be with people that are speaking out.
So Linda, why do you think why me is the question we always ask?
I think that any therapist will give you the same answer. If you go through an injury, an insult, abuse, or trauma of any kind, or even severe loss, you want to know why. People want to know why because they want to make meaning of it. We want to learn from it, but ultimately it's about having some sense of control. If we have control, maybe we can fix it. Maybe we can make it go away. You know, like even when you're in a car accident, you want to know, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Because I never want to do that again. Same with the workplace bullying. When you're injured, it is confusing. It is not familiar. You want to understand it. You want to fix it and make it end. So ultimately, it's control, right?
Oh, that makes so much sense.
Does that make sense? It's like everything is so out of control. The isolation and the gaslighting that we endure, it is a piece of control, but we don't really get the answer to that question until this article, I think. You guys did this article is amazing. Janice, would you go over maybe the top 6 reasons why we're bullied in the workplace?
Linda is absolutely the expert. But you know, we worked together to kind of come up with how we felt and what were these reasons. And so we came up with the top 6. And of course, we know that there's many more, right, Linda? But the top 6, the number 1 was the perfect storm. Number 2 was insecure leadership. We came up with, you know, you could be working with a psychopath. That you're different in some way, that you've become a problem in the workplace, or nepotism. So those were the 6 that we came up with.
Those are a great start of 6. I think those are, insecure leadership. I think they're all sociopaths myself personally. But Linda, I called Janice, 5 o'clock in the morning my time, because when I found out you worked with bullies, I was so excited to ask you these questions. And then I started watching all these crime series like Killer Instinct and stuff. And I want to know, first of all, the bullies, do they see us and formulate their attack? What percentage have you worked with that are sociopaths or psychopaths? And do bullies ever have empathy when you work with them? Do they ever feel sorry? Do they ever know what they did? Like the crime scenes on Netflix, like Mind of a Murderer, is there a mind of a bully? Like they see us and watch us and formulate their attack.
Boy, I really get a picture of you at 5 in the morning ruminating about why, what are the causes and what are the types and all the emotions that go with it. And really most of my clients go through the very same thing. And, 1% of our population is psychopaths. So you can probably do a little bit of math to figure out how many's in your organization. About 3% are sociopaths and 5 to 6% are narcissists. And out of that 5 to 6%, 50 to 75% are men. But that's overall psychopaths, right? That's not about workplace bullying. And I think, I have to correct you. I don't think they're all sociopaths. I don't think they're all narcissists, and I don't think they're all psychopaths. There's a great percentage of people out there that have learned the behavior, that were trained to be that way, that were rewarded to be that way. And we're talking about authoritarian leadership styles, where they've been trained and they've been rewarded for that. The authoritarian leadership style is going out, and emotional intelligent leadership style is coming in. So things are changing. But the type of bullies that I have worked with are not the narcissistic, sociopathic, psychopathic, because they don't come in. Nothing's wrong with them, right?
Oh.
Everybody else. And so when an investigation takes place and the outcome says, yep, Bob or John or Jim or Mary have absolutely got some bullying behaviors, normally the employer will call me and say, I want to keep them, but these behaviors have to change. Because they're good employees, they're hardworking, skilled employees, but these behaviors have to change. And that's when there's a lot of evidence. Then they come to me and I do a rehab program with them. But of course, there's a lot of denial at first. There's a lot of minimizing and a lot of excuses. And that's why you need a therapist who understands this in order to get underneath all of those many layers of excuses. They've gotten away with it for years. So there's a lot of layers. Like, we're told as targets that we're too sensitive. And in my opinion, when we finally get to work with bullies, they're far too insensitive, and we've got a thick callous skin to get through in order to get to who's truly inside there. So moral disengagement, they've lost touch with their sense of self. So these are the majority of the people that I work with, mostly men. I've had a couple of women, and usually there's evidence that they can't argue with, like videotapes, audio tapes, a lot of good documentation. So that's the types that I see. And what are the reasons? Sometimes it's they have a mental health issue that has never been diagnosed, like a very severe social anxiety disorder. Maybe they have a physical issue, like they're in severe pain and they're on terrible medications that make them miserable. They might be burnt out. They might have an addiction. They might have an alternative agenda, like they're having an affair in the workplace, and they have to make you the scapegoat because you see it and they know you see it. Or in my case, one time I was targeted because somebody was committing fraud and they thought that I had identified them, so they scapegoated me. So there's all kinds of reasons, and we can't throw them all into one pool. You can't explain why with one brush. You can't even explain why you got bullied with one brush, and you can't come up with one solution. It's very unique to each individual and each case.
Wow.
So saying all of that, which is fascinating, I hope that curbed your curiosity a little bit, Robin, because I know you could not wait to ask Linda that. So I'm curious for all of us to say what we think our why me was, right? So for me, a lot of my healing process was detaching from it, or understanding things on a larger scale, like human aggression on a larger scale. And what I came up with, it was easiest for me, and what made the most sense was that, I had worked in the industry for 25 years without any issues. And then all of a sudden I got this new manager, and now I'm facing this experience, right? That seemed to be the wrong manager at the wrong time, mixed with now all of a sudden a new regional manager who was even worse. So it was kind of this perfect storm. And understanding things that way for me helped me detach from it being so personal. What happened with you guys? How did you decide what your why me was? And then what did you do with that? Robin, maybe you first, and then Linda, if you can tell us what your why me was out of those.
Well, my why me was a combination of two of the points on your list: insecure leadership and perfect storm. And I'm a little different. I have to have been a top salesperson. I'm very creative and innovative. I was a team player. So it came, all of a sudden the little kind of racial, little slurs and stuff, asking me like inappropriate questions and stuff. But I think it really was my sales numbers, because in the end I got attacked for something by someone I didn't even know, that never even managed me. So, I couldn't speak. I was choking. Me and Janice talked about that. I couldn't speak. I was choking. My therapist wanted to know when the last time I showered and changed my clothes, which probably tells you how bad it was. And then I started talking to Janice and reading stuff by you. I know we're like your biggest groupie fans, Linda, so you have to pardon us. We're like your biggest fans. And I found purpose. Now, I just got out of this situation in February, but the purpose, following you guys in your footsteps, like you guys are the frontline warriors, and I'm right back there with you. Using my voice has helped me. So there you go, Linda. That was my why.
I can't put it in a quick nutshell like that. For me, I walked into a perfect storm. Absolutely. I walked into an environment where there was unresolved historical staffing issues, a laissez-faire leader who was leaving, who left it a mess, favoritism, and then a new leader walked in, an authoritarian leadership style, who was also an insecure leader. So that ticks off perfect storm, insecure leader. I was different, and so it evolved into me being different and also me becoming seen as a problem, because I wouldn't shut up. If I ever saw something unethical, I would speak up about it. I would tell it that, and I would ask questions. I would challenge. If I was told to do something that I didn't understand and I needed to understand, tell me the policy on that, then I was, a problem. So perfect storm. I'm the shiny penny walking into a very toxic workplace. I'm a good scapegoat or a good target because I was excited and new energy, but also a very insecure leader. I think he was probably bullied as a child. I think he had trauma in his life. And I think he was a very insecure person. I think he was a bit of a narcissist as well. So, there wasn't any nepotism, but that's another job that I had bullying in, was nepotism.
I'm so curious. So everybody has why me. When you work with targets, how do people move beyond the why me? So for me, there was a lot of humility that I actually sought, right? And the question that I started asking myself when I wanted to understand it was, why not me? Because it seemed to be this, like, there's a lot of tragedies that happen in life, right? Like I was connecting to people suffering, and that, why would it not be me to suffer in this particular way? So I don't know if that was, harder or what, but it helped me to kind of connect on that level. How do people move through the why me question? Because eventually you want to try to answer it and then move on from it, right? Because you want to get to what now, which we'll get to after this. But how are you finding that people move past the why me, or how can they move past it if they're stuck on it?
There's so many layers to that. I mean, I am obviously going to be a very high advocate for seeing a counselor or a therapist that knows what they're talking about, because every one of us has a story, and that story is connected to our childhood. It's connected to other work experiences. It's connected to how much support and resources do we have in our lives. Have we always been told that we're great and we can believe in ourselves, or have we had previous trauma? So it's essential that you get to a counselor to do a bit of an assessment as to how does this connect to other parts of your life. It doesn't mean that you're too sensitive, and it doesn't mean that you did anything to deserve this, because nobody deserves this. Nobody deserves abuse. But there are factors in their life that make this bullying experience cut a little deeper? Yes. Mm-hmm. And does that mean there's some recovery work to do? Absolutely. Because if you don't, you're going to be in this situation again. So we all have wounds and buttons in our bodies and if these bullies find them, they're going to push them. And if you don't do some healing, that's going to contribute to the harm that you're feeling, and it's also going to impact the recovery work. So I say, see a therapist, do some check-ins, self-insight, whether you're a target, bystander, or perpetrator. That's the solution. Self-insight, self-empowerment, self-healing, self-compassion, self-recovery. You get your power back, and you probably would be even better sense of who you are when you dive in and look at these buttons and remove these barriers from other people having power over you.
It's true. I had one of those childhoods that is like a movie. I had a really bad childhood, and I've done a lot of work on myself. But the thing that's always driven me is purpose, finding purpose. And in this instance, I found my purpose in people like you, what you guys do. But you, Linda, and Janice. I know Janice personally, but I know you from Janice, talking about you constantly. I'm a little jealous. We'll talk about it later. But I found my purpose, and it's taken me forward. I've always thought of myself, I've never been given the time. I had to hit the ground running, which I've had to do my entire life. So purpose, and finding help with people who are knowledgeable, who know this like you. You do counsel people in America on the phone, right?
I do counseling around the world, especially now with COVID. It's so easy with Zoom and WhatsApp. There's people in Australia and UK and US that call me as well.
But I didn't really know. I mean, it's funny, right? You look up this stuff and you don't, I mean, I found one person who led me to Janice, and here I am, and here you are. So I feel like kind of a rock star to be with you guys, but I'll stop now. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Janice.
I have Linda, on the Empowered Employee. She is listed as one of the resources that I have for workplace bullying consultations. Again, she can do it through Zoom anywhere in the US. I always say one of the things that was my purpose is to share the resources that I didn't have while I was going through it, and what I would have given to have known about Linda. So I'm really excited, Linda, that you were here with us today. Thank you so much.
Yes,
and that we can advertise your services for people that need it. I'll definitely leave all the information on the bottom here. Linda, just to close this out, I want to see if you have, we end the show normally with giving a question to the audience to see, to give them a chance to interact with us. So what is a question that you have for the audience before we go?
The question that I have for you and Robin and the audience is, what is the one thing, just one, that helped you come out of the abyss of the pain that this brings you to? So whether it was a recovery tool, whether it was a life jacket somebody threw you, what was the life jacket? The one thing that really worked for you to get you back or begin to come back.
This guy right here.
Ah,
This guy right here. This guy saved me.
I'm going to show you mine.
Okay. And Janice, of course, you helped me, but look at you two and your cute dogs. I have no animals in this house. Linda,
can you imagine? I had to find something else besides a dog. You know how much harder I had it than the two of you guys having those two cute faces?
I rescued this guy. He was 9 pounds when I got him, and everyone said you should give him back. I actually sold my personal car to pay his vet bills, and in the end, he rescued me. Absolutely.
Any good therapist will tell you that an animal, cat, dog, whatever, will regulate your nervous system, will calm you down, will help you to breathe again. Because we know this injury, it causes anxiety, insomnia, rumination, all of that. An animal will calm it down. But I'm looking forward to hearing the responses from everyone.
Yeah, and you know what the thing for me was, which it's almost impossible to pick one because it takes so much. But finding out that what I was experiencing was normal, that the trauma symptoms I was having were a part of what I experienced, making sense out of that and normalizing it was a game changer for me to find a way to recover from it. So I want to normalize for people the trauma that you're feeling and the physical effects and what happens mentally and what you're thinking. All of that can be explained. And once you can understand it, you can find ways to heal from that.
Thank you guys both. Linda, Janice has been so excited, calling me every day, telling me that you're going to be on, that I better have my shit together on this call. I'm making light of this, but we make light of it, not because it's a light subject, but because we want it to be approachable to everyone. And we want people to know that you are a resource for them to call, and we're going to have your information. And God bless you for being a frontline warrior, you and Janice both. Thank you so much to Targets Talk, episode number 10. We got to we are her biggest fan, Linda Crockett. Thank you so much. Bye.
Have a great week, everybody. Thank you for being here,
Bye.
Linda. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.